Hey, it's Melanie with I Am Second. As we've been on Van's Warped Tour, it's been incredible to meet with people and find out what Warped Tour has meant to people over the years. The other day we had the opportunity to connect with Tim and Chris from the band UNDERØATH and find out what their perspective on Warped Tour, life, and the core of their identity really is.
This is our last date on Warped Tour ever, which is crazy because we did a couple dates in 2002, 2003. The idea that it's all coming to a close is pretty surreal because it's been like such a huge part of our life.
So we came on in like a weird tumultuous season 15 years ago, played 3 shows, went home, and now we came back 15 years later and we get to play 3 shows and it's a completely different vibe. It's like celebratory and it's just insane that we still get to do all this. We played our last song tonight, it just started like crying. It's that weird thing where you don't realize what you have until it's gone, and so I try to like take in more of what we're losing while we're losing it.
There was a time after our band broke up that you know, it was difficult for sure.
We kind of grew up in this weird bubble, became a band, and then our band got way bigger than we thought, and just the scramble mentally on how to grow up and an arrested development of you're young, you have a manager and an agent and a label, and anything you want is kind of at least attainable. I found that it was really cool, and being 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, it was like we were ahead of all of our friends in high school, and then you come home after a tour and you're 25 and your friend's like a year away from graduating law school. Then you come home from a tour, you're 29 and your friend's a lawyer, and you realize like, I'm just back on the Warped Tour. And what am I, you know, and you have this weird wrestling of identity of like, am I just Tim from UNDERØATH? And if I wasn't Tim from UNDERØATH, would anyone care that I exist?
That time that we had away was catalyst to being able to like see this from an objective perspective. When I decided that I did want to spend more time with my family and decided to not do the band anymore, there was a period of like, well, then who am I?
It's a weird thing, and I don't think we're famous, but we have a microcosm of fame that we had to deal with, and it was really interesting how we dealt with that. So to just have that all go away, you really are faced with like, who are you now? Without the guitars and without all the people watching you and without all the whatever.
Me being able to find my identity outside of doing this, I'm able to come back to doing this and just have that perspective of like, no, like I'm not defined by the thing that I do, the job that I work. You know, being at home with my kids and my wife, that's like, you know, what I am to do, and this is something that I get to do that allows me to go home and do that, so, yeah.
You know, I have a church at home that I go to, and it's like, that's like my community, and when I leave, like, there's a hole there for me and maybe for them too. I know for a fact for my family, but everyone else, it's like, when I get back, it's like trying to make up for lost time, and it's always gonna be a balance. So I think that's a really hard thing that people don't understand about people in our position. It's like, if I just had that, everything would be okay, and all that just comes with a bunch of other set of problems.